Creativity truly is a universal language, transcending borders and cultures to spark emotions and ignite conversations. As we face unprecedented global issues, artists are stepping up, using their talents to raise awareness and inspire action. Our journey follows three remarkable women who have chosen to wield their creativity as a powerful force for change. Welcome to the Art of Change, an initiative that explores the intersection of art, activism, and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Je m'appelle Katarzyna Kot. Je suis une artiste, femme, mère, compagne, une sœur. J'aime mes plus belles sculptures vivantes, mes enfants. J'aime habiter en arbre, en oiseaux, en ciel, en poésie. En fait, la nature, pour moi, c'est un ensemble des vivants dotés d'une conscience, certes pas la même que la nôtre, mais tout de même d'une conscience. C'est une intelligence collective qui nous échappe parfois. À l'exemple des arbres, ces sages silencieux qui communiquent entre eux à travers de leurs réseaux souterrains, mycéliums. La nature, dans l'esprit heuristique, nous faisons partie de tout, si on n'est pas séparé de la nature. C'est l'homme, par son arrogance, par le besoin de prôner, traite la nature comme un objet d'exploitation et pas comme un sujet doté d'une conscience, justement. Comme disait Christian Bobin, marcher dans la nature, c'est comme entrer dans une immense bibliothèque où chaque livre ne contiendrait que des phrases essentielles. La durabilité est un concept bien large qui cherche un équilibre entre les facteurs environnementaux, sociaux, économiques, et pour créer des systèmes équitables capables de perdurer dans le temps. Il s'agit de faire des choix qui garantissent une sage utilisation des ressources, de diminuer l'impact négatif, de chercher un bien-être de tous aujourd'hui et dans le futur. Depuis petite fille, j'étais attirée par le bois. J'ai commencé à faire la sculpture très très tôt et j'ai étudié beaucoup de matériaux pour comprendre cette attirance. J'ai travaillé le métal, le verre, la céramique, le bronze. J'ai appris à souder pour comprendre que c'est tout de même mon matériau de prédilection. Mais c'est le bois qui m'a raconté l'arbre. C'est l'arbre qui m'a amené à la forêt. Et c'est la forêt qui m'a appris à comprendre ce que c'est l'essence de la nature. Donc il n'y a pas de division entre ma pratique artistique et mon approche, disons, éco-responsable. C'est une attitude qui émerge de ce fait qu'en approfondissant la connaissance de quelque chose, on a l'envie de le protéger naturellement. Je ne pense pas que mon approche est strictement politique. Ma pratique artistique d'une sculptrice s'élargit dans le temps. J'essayais d'exprimer mon engagement à travers des installations, du land art. Et récemment, en tant qu'artiste engagée, aujourd'hui, je crée les films en duo avec Stéphane Guirand, l'artiste français. Nous avons créé une association de grands vivants en 2022, après le festival Agir pour le vivant, où nous avons compris l'importance de revisiter les endroits très fragilisés par l'homme. Aussi, on a rendu l'hommage à un des plus grands glaciers en Islande qui est en train de partir. Comme des ethnographes imaginaires, on archive les mémoires du monde par cette manière, en faisant une performance artistique. À part des films, il y a une exposition. Tous les matériaux sont recyclés pour créer des sculptures en compagnie de photographies et de dessins. avec la philosophie Leave No Traces. Et actuellement, nous avons créé un film long-métrage sur la dernière forêt primaire d'Europe qui se trouve en Pologne, qui était accompagné par une recherche scientifique. Nous avons trouvé les fonds pour créer une première cartographie ADN environnementale de la dernière forêt primaire. Et également, on a créé une performance artistique avec des artistes luxembourgeois et polonais pour rendre hommage à cette lieu. Je ne pense pas que mon engagement est politique, plutôt il s'agit d'une politique existentielle, de réfléchir encore une fois notre manière de vivre, d'être vivant parmi les vivants, comme dit Baptiste Morisot, et comment on recrée notre communauté terrestre aujourd'hui dans Achille Mbembe, il parle. Et je pense que l'art joue un rôle important en parlant de ces sujets, en invitant à la réflexion, à la prise de conscience sur ces sujets. Aujourd'hui, on connaît l'art de upcycling, de récupération. Nous avons l'art digital, les installations éphémères, l'art, immersion, même des actions communautaires. Et ainsi, l'art n'est pas seulement une simple forme d'expression, mais devient un puissant moteur de changement en invitant à la réflexion sur le monde qui nous entoure et sur notre façon d'être au monde.
My name is Hembadoon, Ivy Lady. I am a creative, I'm an artist, I'm a woman, I'm a homemaker, a mother, a radio presenter, an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about music, family, my children. I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about God. God is my source. My superpower is my spiritual consciousness, my mind. It is a space where everything creative comes from. I am particularly proud of my life as a mother, the growth and learning. I'm proud of my musical project, the vast network of creatives who are now part of my moments, my band. I'm proud of my brand, Lady, the causes I stand for and the causes that I hope to represent in future. My favorite quote, you may not reap where you sow, but you will reap what you sow. So know that what is yours will come to you. Feminism is the right that everyone has to choose, the right that they have to be. Everyone, especially women, because whether you like it or not, there's a lot of marginalization. And different societies, every society is different. And when you look at it in terms of everybody having a right to do what it is that they want to without being questioned, especially as far as what the society says is the normal or not normal. So I think I heard of the poet Toni Morrison, where she says freedom. And that's what it comes down to. The right to choose gives you freedom. So what she says is freedom is the right to choose your responsibilities. Not all the responsibilities, but the ones that you are comfortable with. So I feel that's what it is. Everybody being who they are, I think there are many things that drove me to embrace the fight for feminism and the rights for women. First of all, I think is my upbringing. Growing up, I looked around me and I saw that all the girls were being trained, taught basic skills. Things like cooking, taking care of the home, taking care of the siblings, taking care of people around you. So they had a chance to explore society. But we were curious as well as girls. We wanted to know what was going on around us. Also, and this is something I haven't shared before, when I was younger, maybe a child between 9 and 10, I was molested by, some uncles and basically familiar people who came to the house a lot. People who, should have been trusted to take care of a little child. And one of those people happened to be, my art teacher. And I remember at the time when I was so afraid. And when I came to the realization of what it was that was going on, being forced into a space where I don't think I was comfortable to be in, because if I was caught, I would have been in trouble, So at some point in my 10 years of age, I did write a letter to him, to tell him to leave me alone and, just ward him off and say, you're supposed to be protecting me. I know I'm the child here and I know that I'm disadvantaged in this position. And if I'm caught, I'm the one who's going to get into trouble. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And so from a very young age, from 10, no 10-year-old should be thinking that deep. But I realized we do need to protect women. We do need to speak up for women, because if you don't have the guts, then, people will be taking advantage of. Because I believe that once we speak up is activism. And we do need to hear more voices. I do think that in the broader sense, as far as having that conversation, as far as being a part of the conversation, as far as driving the conversation as much as possible, I am committed politically.
When Jesus washed, when Jesus washed my sins away.
Because, and I wrote this song that kind of put down the term lady, saying maybe don't be a certain way, be like this, be called a woman because that is what is acceptable, don't be a lady in quotes. So my song is saying I am lady, but I'm all of those things because I was brought up to be those things. However, those things don't define me and they don't limit me. So yes, my music does play a big part in my conversation about feminism. So music as a form of communication that kind of is, maybe better than the corporate communications or public relations thereabout, is the fact that with music, you can convey your message in, it's cryptic. You can say what it is you want to say without offending, in quotes. The first time I found out how much of a tool music was, it was in the time of the struggle, the apartheid, and South Africa once upon a time. Everybody was singing about Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, the freedom movement and all of that. And it started to occur to me that these songs were, sort of political. And then, of course, I got introduced to the great Fela and Nicola Bokuti, who challenged the government as much as possible. And then I started to hear sounds from Tracy Chapman, the storytelling, talking about revolution, and things like that. And realizing so much that in the same way that we're talking politics, we can talk about our rights, maybe as women, the things that we want to hear, words of affirmation, the kinds of things that will push us to be our better selves. Ownership. You have to be, like I said, you have to choose what you're responsible for. You have to be responsible for what is going to help the people around you. I have a little girl. You heard her earlier. I've, helped her, and I'm teaching her to be bold, to speak up, to understand her strength, but at the same time understand that she can be feminine, to know how to apply herself. And so that's what I try to also portray in my music. Speak positive to yourself, and also don't be afraid. Own up to it. It is you. You are unique. And whatever it is you bring to the table, it is your responsibility to, carry on that conversation and make it as positive as possible.
My name is Silvia Camada. I am a human. I am passionate about movement. My superpower is I can read people. I am particularly proud of that. I was never afraid when I was a child. And my favorite quote is, let's move. So my social commitment starts there, where I can help young people that are on psychiatry or have a trisomy 21 or women that are in prison, to help these kind of people to bring back their dreams and to help them believe again in themselves, because everyone knows how to do something. Because when I am working with people where I want to get things out of them, I am very emotional, very sensitive, and I go to specific things. I want to listen to their stories. So when I work as an artist, I go for my stories. And I don't care if people like what I do as an artist or not. I don't care. I make just an artistic choice for my own work. The last piece I did in memoriam, I didn't go for the beauty, I didn't go for big movements, I didn't go for anything. I just went for my artistic thing. Because when I work with other people, I want them to shine. I want them to be great. I want them to be perfect. And that is where I open up myself and I work with the people that are in front of me. I love so much to work with people. I love to work with people. It makes me cry, it makes me happy. It gives me wings to fly. So of course, yes, for when I do my artistic work, I want to be honest with what I do. So I might take longer time. But when I do something, I want to be 100% honest. So I'm always finding my balance. And sometimes it takes longer. We don't need to give birth the whole time. We need to let it grow inside as well. So yes. Yes, I find it. I mean, as a dancer, the first dance piece I did about women that were hit at house and they were like abused and everything. Second dance piece was about people dying on the street. Third dance piece, football. I mean, what is more political than football? Then I did Conciencia di Terrore 1 about all the prisoners for Abu Ghraib being tortured by the military. And then I did a piece about Osama bin Laden, how he was good and how he became bad. I mean, I was always engaged politically. I have never been inspired by a flower, and I love flowers. So yes, I was always a very political engaged person, and the world touches me. It touches me when people are suffering outside. I want to do something about that. I want to scream. I want to shout it. So yes. The sensitivity of artists, I think, is the most important thing that makes us different than other people. I mean, we can be touched by loads of things, and every artist is being touched by different things. But it's this sensitivity that gives us a different view on it, a different perspective, a different dimension. And this is what is important. Because if an artistic point of view isn't available, how are other people that are passionate about numbers or about lectures or whatever, how are they going to reinterpret things that they might not see? We need sometimes glasses as well to see through. And I think the artist is giving this kind of glass. You need always to find the good glasses, of course. So this is something is really important. Then the body. For me, the body as a young kid, I was lisping. No, I couldn't talk. I had really troubles to express myself. I was always afraid of saying something wrong. So from that, I went to my body, and my body started to talk. And there were moments in my life where I actually could express myself better with my body than with my own words, because I didn't have this capacity of talking. I was afraid. I never could say niederkor. I couldn't even say from where I was coming from. I couldn't talk. So yes, for me, my body was giving me all the vocabulary with all these little slight changes that I could show with my body that I couldn't do with my mouth, with my vocabulary. So yeah, for me, my body was my talking piece. There was one project, I mean, there are many, I love them all. I think that was one of the most difficult that I had was the prison project with the ladies, because it was already a very difficult place to go and rehearse to, and I don't have a driving license, so I was really taking the bus from the city and getting out at this bus arrêt prison. That was already something big people. And getting the bus there to come back to the city was really difficult because I always need to go in the middle of the street, show that, woo, I'm coming with you. But what was difficult was that was a time where in prison things were not going right, and they wanted to break it all down, the project. They didn't not want it to happen. And I was really happy to have the Fondation Aimé behind me to support it. And we got the 5 ladies out of prison to bring them to the Philharmonie. So they performed at the Espace Découverte. We had 30 police guys standing with weapons there. We had the dogs there that went through everything. The ladies came in like this, on the high heels though. And they did a fabulous show. They were really good, and they could take their kids in their arms after the show, not in prison, but in the Philharmonie. I was crying of happiness for, I think, 2 weeks, because something happened just there. And it was a magical moment, even with all these barriers that were everywhere, with the guys, the police, that said at the beginning, when the show is over, they need to go home immediately. Even the police said, they can see their family. And that was so human. It was so strong. It was, wow, it was worth fighting for these moments and to give these ladies there something. And that was nice. I want to leave a legacy of freedom. I want to leave a legacy of everything is possible when you believe in it. I want to make a legacy of giving all these kids, all these ladies, all these women, everyone, all these people, that they never forget that they're all capable of doing something. And you have your own life in your hand, and cherish it. It's not always easy, of course. But, I mean, freedom, create, dare, fall and get up. A nice fall can be good sometimes too.
As we reach the end of our journey with these inspiring artists, we invite you to pause and reflect on the power of creativity to ignite change and reimagine our shared future. Their commitment reminds us that the SDGs are not distant ideals, but urgent calls to action. Calls each of us can answer in ways both big and small. Join us in this movement. Follow the Art of Change as it travels to new cities, uncovering more visionary stories and inviting more hearts and hands to help shape a better world.